Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. As you can see, I've been busy making earrings and I'm going to make the mate to this one today. And I'm using products that I got from Beebeecraft. In case you're not familiar, Beebeecraft is an online craft supply store. They have lots of beads and findings and jewelry making supplies. If you have a channel and you have at least 100 subscribers, you can apply to be in their YouTube program and get products and do tutorials for them. I'll put a link in the description box below to that program, so you can check it out if you're interested. They offer free shipping over $25. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa10, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the Beebeecraft website. The coupon will save you 10% off your order if you make an order with them. I'll put links to all the Beebeecraft products I'm using in the description box below, and links to everything else I can find links for that I'm using down there too in the description box below. In my last Beebeecraft order, I got this big package of 50 14mm Rivolis. Well, I think they call them pointed back rhinestones, I think is what they call them, but I consider them to be Rivolis. And I said that I wanted to figure out a way to bezel them and then connect them all together and make a bracelet. And that's still what I plan to do. I've not tried to figure out how to connect them together yet, but that's still what I plan to do. But I decided it would probably be better to go ahead and do the bezel first in a separate video, and then later come back and put them together into a bracelet, because I was afraid if I did all that in one video it would make a really long video. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do this bezel, and I decided since I'm bezeling them, I might as well make them into a pair of earrings. So that's what I'm going to do. These first ones, these are the first ones that I did. These red ones. And when you bezel a 14mm Rivoli, you start out with 36 delicas. And I have always started out with the 36 delicas, and this is a peyote bezel. So I've always started out with the 36 and then added one row of delicas, and then added the 15s to encase the stone, and I did that on the front and the back. But like I said, this was the first pair that I did, and it was a little bit hard to get the stone in there, to get it encased in there like I wanted it to be. And I think it's because these are just a little bit thicker than the Rivolis I'm used to working with. So for all these others, after I did the 36 delicas, then I added 2 rows of delicas, and that's what I'm going to do today. And it holds the stone in there better. It's easier to get it in there better. These red ones, the delicas that I used, are called Silver Lined Red, and I used the Durcoat Galvanized Gold 15-0s, and I've used a couple of 11-0s for each earring. At the bottom here where I put this drop on, and at the top where I put my wire guardian on. And I got these drops in a Beebeecraft order. I think it was the order I got in October. That's where I got these drops. And then these blue ones are the next ones I did. And like I said, I did an extra row of delicas on these. And the color on these delicas is Silver Lined Cobalt. And then I've got a little drop, out of the same package that I got, I think, in October. And I've used Galvanized Gold 15-0s and a few 11-0s. And then these white ones, or I guess, well, the stone is crystal clear, and the delicas are white pearl Ceylon is the color of the delicas in these. And then I used some galvanized silver 15-0s and a few 11-0s and a drop. And then these are some kind of pink Rivolis, and the color of the delicas that I use for this is Opaque Old Rose is the color. And I used the galvanized silver 15 O's and a few 11 O's on this one. And a drop there. And the one I'm going to make today is sort of this teal blue color. And the delicas that I'm using are called Duracoat Dyed Opaque Azure. I always have a hard time saying that word. Azure. And I'm using the 15-0 galvanized silver seed beads, and then a few 11-0 galvanized silver seed beads, just a couple. And so I'm going to be making the mate to this one today. And I've got my stone here and my drop and all my seed beads. And then, let me zoom back out here now. I'm using my 6-pound fire line and smoke. And I've got a size 12 beading needle that I'm using. And then I'll just be using my chain those flowers to flatten the thread to get it through the needle, and my cutters to cut my fire line. And I think that's everything. And I've got my ear wire and my wire guardian too here. And these are the ear wires I got from Beebeecraft, and I don't remember which order it was, but I'll find the link to it and put them in the description box below. So I think that's everything. Hold on, I'll get some of my beads poured out and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my beads poured out here now, and I've already got my 36 delicas on here, and I'm leaving enough of a tail to put a needle on and sew in later. Let me zoom in here, so because these beads are tiny. Now I'm just going to sew back through several of the beads. I did all these because I was trying to figure out which color I thought would be easiest for y'all to see what I was doing. And I finally decided I thought this would probably be the easiest. I'll just go through a few of the delicas there and turn it into a circle. And now I'm just going to do peyote. And zoom in just a little bit more. I'm going to pick up one of my, I'm going to call it blue, delicas. And I'm coming out of this delica here. I'm going to skip the next one and go into the next delica. And that puts the delica that I just picked up next to the delica I skipped. And usually after I get a few in here, then I tighten it up. So I'm going to pick up another one. And I'm going to skip the next one. And go into the one after that. Now I'm going to push down on my stop bead to tighten it up so that they'll sit next to each other like they're supposed to. So they're sitting next to each other there. Now I'll pick up another one. I'm going to skip the next delica and go into the one after that. And I'm not sure how much this thread this takes. I didn't measure any of these that I did. I didn't measure my thread, but I will keep up with it and tell you. If I forget to tell you at the end of the video, and I probably will, I usually do, I'll put it in the description box below. I've got about 4 feet of thread on my needle. That should be probably way more than enough. So now that I've got a few in there, I'm going to put my finger through and flatten it against my finger. Like that, because I want it to wind up flat like that when I'm done. So now I'm just going to pick up another delica, I'll skip the next delica and go into the next one. I'm going to push down on my stop bead again because it's not wanting to be my tension is not tight enough for the beads to sit next, for the bead that I'm picking up to sit next to the one I skipped. So that's what I got now. So I'm going to pick up another delicate. It should be tight enough now that it will be alright when I do this one. So I'm going to skip the next delicate, go on the one after that. I'm going to skip the next delicate. Go into the one after that. I have to put my finger over it to hold it on there. Now I'm just going to keep doing that till I get back around to the where I started here, and then when I come back I'll do the step up. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back around here to where I started now. I just have one more delicate to put in and do my step up. So I'm going to pick up a delicate. I'm going to skip the next delicate. I'm coming out of this delicate here. I'm going to skip that next delicate and go into the next one. And then I'm going to go up into that one on the diagonal, which is the first one I put on in this row. Pull my thread through. My stop bead's going to get caught because it always does. So I'm done with that row. Now I'm just going to put another row of delicates between all the delicates that are sticking out. I'm going to pick up a delicate, go into the next sticking out delicate, and just the next sticking out delicate. My needle's trying to go through more than one bead. Make sure it pops in between those delicates there. Pick up another one, go into the next sticking out delicate, make sure it pops in there like it's supposed to. Pick up another delicate, go into the next sticking out delicate, drop the whole thing. Okay, now I'm going to pick up another delicate, go into the next sticking out delicate. Now I'm just going to keep doing that till I get all the way back around, and then when I come back we'll do the step up again. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back around here. I only need one more delicate now, and I'm going to do my step up. If you have a hard time seeing where your step up is, we started out with 36 beads, and since we're picking up a bead and skipping a bead, each round we're putting in 18 beads. So if you have a hard time, you could lay out 18 of your delicates in a little pile, and then when you get to the last one, you know that's where your step up is. So I'm going to pick up another delicate. I'm coming out of this delicate here. I'm going to skip that one down in there and go into the next one that's sticking up and up into the one on the diagonal, which is the first one I put on in this row. So we're done with our delicates now. So now I'm just going to do that same thing, except I'm going to do it with 15 O's. I'm going to pick up a 15 O. And I'm going to the next sticking out delicate. I'm going to pick up a 15 O. I'm going to the next sticking out delicate. And I put a needle on and sewed my stop thread in because it was really getting in my way. So it's gone now. I'll pick up another 15 O, go into the next sticking out delicate. So I'm just going to do that all the way around until I get back around here to the beginning, and then when I come back we'll step up. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back around here now. I just need one more 15-0 to put in here. So I'm coming out of this delica. I'm going to go into the next delica that's sticking up there, and then I'm going to go on the diagonal up into that 15-0. Like that. Now I'm going to put on another row of 15-0s between the 15-0s that I've got on here. So I'm going to pick up a 15-0, go into the next 15-0 that's sticking out there, pick up another 15-0, go into the next 15-0, I'm going to pick up a 15-0, go into the next 15-0, I'm just going to keep doing that till I get all the way back around to the beginning, and then when I get back around here I'll be back. Okay, I'm back around here to the beginning now. I'm going to pick up my last 15-0 on this side, and I'm going to go into that 15-0 that's sticking out there, and instead of going up into this 15-0 on the diagonal, I'm just going to go into that one 15-0 because I'm done putting 15-0s on this side now. I'm just going to go into that 15-0. And when you put your 15-0s in here, you want to pull them enough that they pop in between the beads there, but you don't want to pull real tight, because if you pull real tight, you'll have a hard time getting your stone in there, which is what I'm going to do next. But first I'm going to sew over to this side. So I'm going to just sew on the diagonal through these delicas here until I get over to the other side. And now I'm going to put my stone in here, and I'm going to put it in here face down. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to do the same amount of rows of 15-0s on this side that I did on the other side, but I just always put it in face down. Sometimes you have to fiddle with it a little bit to get it in there. To get it in there straight. As you go around and putting your 15-0s in, it'll straighten up and be in there better than when you're just trying to hold it like this. Just have to kind of fiddle with it there, and I'm not doing a very good job of fiddling with it, but I'm going to tighten my 15-0s, or tighten it a little bit and see if that'll help. Okay, yeah, that's better. So now I'm just going to put a 15-0. Having a hard time holding this in here. Okay, now I'm going to put a 15-0 between all these delicates. So I'm going to pick up a 15-0, go into the next sticking out delica, put in a 15-0, pick up a 15-0, go into the next sticking out delica, and when I do this, I'm going to pull kind of inward because this is what's going to hold my stone in. I'll pick up a 15-0, go into the next sticking out delica, pick up a 15-0, go into the next sticking out delica, now I'm going to do that all the way around, and then when I get done I'm going to step up and do another row of 15-0s just like I did on that first side. And when I get all that done, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back around here and ready to do my step up. I know I said I was just going to do it and then I'd be back after I put both rows on, but I just wanted to show you I've got almost all of that first row of 15-0s in, and my stone's in there a whole lot better now. I'm not having trouble holding it in there now, so if you're having trouble with it, that first row will help. So now I'm going to pick up my last 15-0 on this round. I'm going to go into that next delica and the 15-0 on the diagonal. Now I'm just going to put 15-0s between all those 15-0s, and when I come back we'll be ready to put the drop on, so I'll be back. Okay, I've got my last row of 15-0s in here, and I've got my bezel done, and this is where I'll stop when I'm going to do my bracelet. I'll just make as many of these as I need to make a bracelet. But I'm going to put a drop and an ear wire on this and make an earring out of it. So I'm coming out of this 15-0 here, this last 15-0 I put in. I'm going to sew up 2 of these delicas on the diagonal, like that. Now I'm going to put my drop on. I'm going to use this delica I'm coming out of and this delica here. I'm going to skip these 2 right here and use the one I'm coming out of and the one on the other side. So I'm going to pick up 2 15-0s and my drop from the skinny side. No, 2 15-0s and 11-0 and my drop from the skinny side. And some of these drops I'm going to pick up an 11-0 here and go back up this drop. Some of them I used a 15-0 here, but some of them the holes are a little bit bigger than others, and I tried a 15-0 here and it went through it. It fell through it, so I'm just going to use an 11-0 here instead of a 15-0. And now I'm going to go into that 11-0 on the other side. I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to hold on to my drop and pull the slack out of my thread there. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more 15-0s. And I started coming out of this delica. I'm going to skip over those 2 there and go into this delica. That puts my drop on there. Now I'm going to sew back around because I want to go back around this again to tighten it up a little. So I'm just going to sew around. I'm going to go into this delica here. And then I'm going to go over here and go into this delica next to it. And then I'm going to go down into this delica on the diagonal, because that's the one that my drop is coming out of. So now I'm going to go down these 2 15-0s. And the 11-0 and the drop. I go back through this 11-0 down here. Back up the drop. Back into that 11-0. Now I'm going to go into these other two 15-0s on the other side. Be careful not to get caught around the drop. Now I'm going to go back into this delica that I'm connected to there. Okay, so that puts my drop on. Now, when I go up here to the top and put my wire guardian on, I'm going to work out of two delicas up here too. So I'm using 2 delicas down here and 2 delicas up here. So that's 4 out of the 18. So that leaves 14. So I need 7 between down here where my drop is and up here where I'm going to start my wire guardian so that it'll be centered. So I'm coming out of that delica there. I'm going to have to sew on the diagonal so that I won't show any thread. I'm going to sew up into that delica, and that's number 1 because I'm counting these delicas here, not the 2, but the ones between the 2 delicas there. So that's number 1. Now I'm going to sew on the diagonal and go into number 2. I'm going to sew on the diagonal and go into number 3. I think I am. I need my thimble on my finger. I can push it through easier. Okay, that's number 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to make sure I'm coming out where I'm supposed to be here. Yeah. Now I'm going to sew in until I come out the next one. That's number 4. I'm going to sew on the diagonal till I come out number 5. Sew on the diagonal till I come out number 6. Sew on the diagonal till I come out number 7. So that's 7. So now I need to get into this next one to start my where I'm going to put my wire guardian on. So I'm going to sew on the diagonal and come out into number 8. And when I put my wire guardian on, that's going to be centered. So now I'm going to do one 15-0, one 11-0, and my wire guardian. And I meant to go ahead and tuck in my wire guardian, and I forgot. I believe these are stainless steel wire guardians, and they're really hard to squish together with my finger, so I have to do it with my pliers. I don't want to squish them too hard, though. I'll mangle them all out of shape. Don't want to do that. Okay, so I've got a 15-0 and 11-0. I'm going to go up one channel of my wire guardian. I'm going to come down the other channel of my wire guardian, back into the 11-0. Hold my finger over the wire guardian so the thread will land in the channel. Hold on to my wire guardian, pull my slack out of my thread just like I did the drop down there at the bottom. Now I'm going to pick up one more 15-0. And let's see, I started coming out of I have to pull this out to see which delica I came out of. Okay, I started coming out of this delica going this way, so I know I need to go into this delica. Did I pick up another 15-0? Yeah, it's on here. So I'm going to skip and go into this delica. And that puts my wire guardian on. And it doesn't look terribly straight right now, but it will when I go back through it. So I'm going to go back around and go back through it just like I did down there at the bottom. So I'm going to go into this delica here. I'm going to go over and go up this delica next to that one, the one I'm coming out of. Now I'm going to go into this delica here on the diagonal, which is the one my wire guardian's connected to. I'm going to go up this 15-0 and the 11-0. Go up one channel of my wire guardian. Well, I thought I went up one channel of my wire guardian, but it appears I didn't. Okay, now I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian, back into the 11-0. Hold my finger over the wire guardian so the thread lands in the channel. Now I'm going to go back down into this other 15-0. And now I'm just going to sew through a few beads and crisscross my thread. To lock it in, and just always either sewing on the diagonal I'm going to go into this one. Now I'm going to come back up into this one to crisscross my thread. So you're either sewing on the diagonal or sewing next to the bead you're coming out of. I'm going to go back down these two beads. I'll go up into this one next to the bead I'm coming out of. Okay, maybe not. I'm going to go into this one on the diagonal. I'm going to go into this one that I'm coming out, or next to the one I'm coming out of. And then back into this one and another one. I just dropped my needle off my finger, but that's okay because I'm done now. So now I'm just going to cut off my thread. And now I'm just going to put my ear wire on here. These ear wires with the ball, you have to kind of hold the ball back with your thumbnail, so that it won't, when you open this up, it won't fall down into that loop. And these are a little bit hard to open because they're stainless steel too. So I'm going to open my loop, try to hold my ball back, open my loop. I'm going to put my earring on here. And I'm going to close my loop back. I want to make sure I get it closed back up really well so my earring doesn't fall out of it. And there's my earring. So hold on, let me get some of this cleaned up and get all these out here again, and I'll be back. Okay, there's all the earrings that I have made with products from Beebeecraft. The Rivolis and the drops, and except for the gold ear wires, these other ear wires came from Beebeecraft too. And like I said, I'll come back at some point and do a video connecting. I'll probably use this same color and bezel enough to make a bracelet and figure out a way to connect them and come back with a video doing that at some point. Like I said, that if you decide you want to make an order from Beebeecraft, that coupon code will save you 10% off your order. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.